Peace, diehards. It's your boy Evo, the Any Star host of the Diners podcast. Let me get right. Yeah, man. As you can see down at the bottom here, it says SEC Player of the Year gets a D. So, pause first and foremost. You know what I'm saying? But I got the draft hat, man. So I really want to talk about that today. So, without further ado, Diners podcast. Let's go. Yeah, guys. Before we get into that, man, I just finished doing a pod with Sim and Hebrew Remnant, Roy Hebrew Remnant. Yeah, man, we were talking about Tom Thibodeau and stuff like that. So the whole Tom Thibodeau thing. I was looking at the comments as we were doing the show, and people are ragging on me about certain things. But it's not me anymore. Now it's Tom Thibodeau that says it. It's not really about what fans are saying, fans' opinions. This is about what the coach is saying now. And whatever he's saying is clear as day that the whole franchise is talking the same way. Everybody's on the same page. So don't hate the person giving the message. I'm just the messenger. Don't kill the messenger, as they say, right? So anyway, here's another thing. Don't kill the messenger. SEC Player of the Year gets a D plus. Who was the SEC Player of the Year? You ask, right? Oh, that was Immanuel Quickley. Let's check this out. Now that was a picture of CBS Sports. They gave him a D plus. Now, why did they give him a D plus? Right? Everyone keeps talking about the fact that he was drafted higher than they put them. So who are they? Is what I want to know. Who are they for them to put themselves such high esteem that whatever they say is what should go, what should happen. There's such thing as a professional basketball club and things of that nature, coaches, staff, stuff like that. These people that come up with these grades and stuff like that are just sports writers. Sports writers are no different than any of us. A lot of us give them too much credit. Like they're supposed to be experts and stuff like that. I don't know about that. You know what I'm saying? Like these guys are trained and went to school for certain things, so they're great broadcast journalists. Which is a thing. But that doesn't mean that they know more than the average fan. If you follow basketball, for X amount of years and you love it, you're a diehard Knicks fan, for instance, or you're a diehard SEC fan. Like if you've been following the leagues all these years and stuff like that, then you have your opinion is just as valid as any person that's getting paid covering the team. It doesn't make them experts. They're just broadcast journalists. They're professionals at what they do, so they can articulate a little bit better. They know how to write. And then they also have a company behind them that's going to back them up and also edit the stuff that they say and feed them stuff in their ear too. So let's I just want to point that out. But anyway, I'll show this again. So yeah, that's Immanuel Quickley. They had the Knicks drafted him at 25. So regardless of whatever I'm going to say after this, the Knicks we're talking about him before the draft and everything. Just for the connection with Kenny Payne, they were saying that this guy Quickley is somebody that there's a sneaky pick because of Kenny Payne's thing, with a connection with whatever that the Knicks might pick him up, but they had him going in the second round maybe. Nobody expected him to be drafted with that second pick, which originally was the 27th pick, so they ended up being the 25th pick because we made a whole bunch of trades and stuff like that. So anyway, I talked about that before on the podcast once before that that maybe the Knicks were doing all those trades because they thought they were going to be able to get two guys that they wanted. They weren't able to, so they went with the guy that they really wanted, which is Immanuel Quickley. So what I want to get at here, is the SEC. So he was a player of the year. Everyone just kind of dismisses that like that's not a thing, right? So I mean, player of the year, a lot of times they're like you can get into football with the Heisman Trophy. Charlie Ward won the Heisman Trophy once before, and look what happened to him. He became a basketball player. He didn't even play football. So I mean, you could take these things with a grain of salt. But I'm posting this here. This is from the same publication, CBS Sports, if I'm not mistaken. No, this is what is this? This is SEC Sports. So this is the official website. So anyway, I just pulled up their little article here. If you could read it, it says for the first team all SEC, you got Kira Lewis, Mason Jones, Samir Daughtery, Keontae Johnson. There goes Immanuel Quickley, Nick Richards, Skylar Mays, Brian Tyree from Ole Miss. You're talking about Reggie Perry. That's the first team. Do you see Anthony Edwards there? Do you even see Isaac Okoro there? Do you see Anthony Edwards there? I'm talking about the first team. Do you see these guys in the first team? No, you don't. You see them in the second team. Let's read off these names. We're talking about John Perry. I'm looking at uh, Isaac Okoro. There he goes. Kerry Blackshear Jr. And there goes Anthony Edwards, Tyrese Maxey, uh, Mike Costa, John Fulkerson, and Sabin Lee. Some of those guys you never heard of before of in your whole life, you know. But they're the second team, and who's in that mix of players? Guys that were drafted ahead of some guys that were drafted ahead of Obi Toppin. Some of those guys were definitely drafted way ahead of Immanuel Quickley, right? So we're talking about Isaac Okoro, Anthony Edwards, and Tyrese Maxey. I don't know if I need to go down into the thing. There was no 13, so freshman team of the year, blah 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 blah. Defensive players of the year. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is that out of all these players here, the number one pick in the draft was the second team. Kira Lewis was the guy that everyone was convinced that the Knicks were going to pick because you were brainwashed by the media that you watch. Because before any media outlet was saying that they were that the Knicks were thinking about getting Kira Lewis, nobody was talking about Kira Lewis. As soon as they start mentioning this, the Knicks, but now all of a sudden everybody wants the Knicks to get Kira Lewis. You know, it's a mind fuck. You know that I wish you guys would just chill out with that. Not just you guys. Present company. Listen, I talk a certain way when I podcast because I'm looking at it as family. I'm not trying to disrespect nobody. We're just talking in the mix of talking. It's not about that whole dynamic. You know what I'm saying? This is all love here. Kira Lewis, like I said, he was not even nowhere near the lottery. Ended up being like passing everybody. Now he's in the lottery. I'm talking about in the discussion before the draft. What else? Some guys here, Reggie Perry actually had him pretty high. He got drafted really low. Like I said, Isaac Okoro and Anthony Edwards, Tyrese Maxey. Tyrese Maxey was Immanuel Quickley's backcourt mate. So let's talk about that. Shout out to Simeon Russell, whatever. He had a guy on the show that he's a radio guy, right? And he's a radio guy for Dayton, I guess. So he had an opinion on Obi Toppin or whatever. So anyway, they went going to talk about Immanuel Quickley. He said he didn't really know much about Immanuel Quickley. I don't mean to single him out, but whatever. But this is something that could be referenced. A lot of people have the same opinion. They have a high opinion of Maxey, but then they say, "Oh, I don't really know much about Immanuel Quickley." They played in the same backcourt on the same team. So if you see Maxey, then you have to see Immanuel Quickley. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. It's like you're trying to convince yourself about something that you're so smart, but then again, how could you be talking so highly about Maxey? Oh, I want the Knicks to draft Maxey with the 27th pick, and then you don't even care about Immanuel Quickley. Immanuel Quickley, out of all those players that I mentioned, was the SEC Player of the Year over his own college teammate that got drafted higher than him. The one that people were expecting all this and that about. But Immanuel Quickley was the one that got the Player of the Year over Anthony Edwards. That wasn't even in the first team. How does Anthony Edwards become the first pick in the draft, but don't get at least minimum first team SEC? Now I know people are getting pissed off now. They're watching. And they're like, oh yeah, but it's because he's in the second year. They really don't do that to the freshmen. Whatever. You know what I'm saying? Anthony Edwards is the number one pick in the draft. Whatever he averaged. I'm not going to be talking about stats or whatever because a lot of these guys average whatever they average. Kira Lewis averaged 18, I believe. Anthony Edwards, he might have averaged something similar to that. But I see Kira Lewis in the first team, but I don't see Anthony Edwards in the first team. I see him in the second team. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to know, right? How come everyone has such a high opinion of Maxey, but don't know anything about Immanuel Quickley? I had to get out there and say that. I've been wanting to say that for a minute, but I haven't had a chance. I don't know if you could tell, but you can look at my eyes. My eyes are freaking red. I'm exhausted. But I just had to get this thought out of my head. What do you guys think about what I'm saying here? You know, I mentioned Tom Thibodeau. Like I said, we just did a show on Sim. Talking about Tom Thibodeau and what he's gonna do with the team and stuff like that. But I mean, like, people are still talking about Frank has never had a coach, whatever, and all this other stuff. Like, if you listen from the horse's mouth, Tom Thibodeau, we discussed it throughout the whole podcast. We just talked about it. If you listen to what Tom Thibodeau is saying out of his own mouth, then everything that you're saying about these guys not having the proper coach or whatever is invalid. I could bring it back. It could be valid now, but it's valid to the point where none of that development shit matters. Either you can play or you can't. That's all there is to say. Either you could play or you can't. And that's what's going down. It doesn't matter if the guy, needs development, he needs to play. Tom Thibodeau said out of his own mouth that that's not how it's going down. Guys are not going to get minutes for no reason. Minutes have to be earned. You know what I'm saying? Flip it back to Immanuel Quickley. I'm going to show it again. 25th overall pick, D+, right? Okay. You don't get awards like that if you're not playing ball. You know what I'm saying? How come Immanuel Quickley is a forgotten player, but then you got guys on his team that are over him, and and Immanuel just like, oh no, I thought he was going to get drafted way low. Why? You know what I'm saying? That their numbers are comparable. I just don't get it, man. This is a dynamic that baffles me about sports. That people just like they form whole opinions based on bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, bottom line with all this stuff is that Tom Thibodeau said what he said, and that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? We drafted Immanuel Quickley at 25. That's what it is. Just tell the truth. You didn't watch games. You didn't watch Kentucky games. You didn't watch any of the SEC games. Just tell the truth. You know what I'm saying? Tell the truth. You don't know nothing about Immanuel Quickley because you didn't watch Kentucky. So you can't have a whole opinion about Maxey or any other player in the SEC or whatever if you didn't look at Immanuel Quickley. So anyway, I say all that to say Immanuel Quickley might not even play a game for the Knicks this year. We're stacked with a bunch of different players that are going to demand playing time. Even Immanuel Quickley is going to demand some playing time. So it's all remains to be seen what Tom Thibodeau is going to do with this rotation. He said he's going to do 9-10. 8, 9, 10. I think he said 8, 9 man rotation, not a 9, 10 man rotation. I forgot what he said exactly. But he said that in his own mouth. So there's going to be a whole fleet of guys that's not going to play. You know what I'm saying? It could be, some of your favorite Knicks. But the thing about it is, don't we have a real coach now? Don't we have a real coach? We have a real front office now. I don't want to hear nothing about Dolan. I don't want to hear nothing about nothing else. It is what it is. This is Tom Thibodeau's show right now, obviously. And leave those thoughts to the professionals. And the word expert needs to stop being thrown around so freely. And things of that nature. The word development needs to be stopped throwing around so gingerly. This is New York. We're supposed to be the Mecca of basketball. We have roots. There's a reason why we're called the Mecca. New York City isn't like we don't say that we're the greatest city just because somebody said it. We're the greatest city in this world. It's because we all work for what we have. And celebrities can walk the streets in New York City and don't have to worry about people bothering them. If I saw somebody in the street, whatever, I'll probably give them the head nod, no matter who it is. Even if it's somebody I really like, I'll be like, "Oh shit, yo, what up?" You know what I'm saying? If you're the type of guy that's doing autographs and have to run down a dude and mess up his day just because you're geeked out because you saw him, then then you're part of the new thing that's going on with New York. True blue New Yorkers are not fazed by nothing like that because you got something to do. We got somewhere to go. You know, it's a city that never sleeps for a reason because we constantly, not necessarily because things close, or stay open all night long. That's not it. The city that never sleeps because the mind is on the money. The mind is on the movement. The mind is on the game. You know, we have to keep moving in this city to survive. You know what I'm saying? Nothing is given to us. Nothing's given to me. You know, the people that out there that have dreams and aspirations, stuff like that, nothing's given to you. You know, some people might be lucky, but that's few and far between. There's other people that might be that might be unfortunate or just misinformed or whatever, and things are given to them and they take advantage. That's on them. You know, but the heart of New York City, the city that never sleeps, is because we all work for what we got and we don't have time for it. Move the train. We got somewhere to go. You know what I'm saying? So, this is I'm gonna end it, right? So my thought process with this is just like, yo, we're the Mecca of basketball. We need to bring it back. Because the rest of the country are all these corny motherfuckers out here, they're making jokes of us. You know, Nate Robinson, shout out to him. He got his ass knocked out, and then he was wearing orange and blue, and now we're getting roasted. For what? You know why? Because New Yorkers are not being New Yorkers. You know what I'm saying? Let me show it again. This is the reason why you're here. Okay? His teammate was drafted ahead of him, and then people can't tell. Well, I'm not really too sure about Immanuel Quickley because I didn't really follow him. But I got a whole shit load to say about Maxey, and they play for the same team, same starting lineup. Ridiculous, man. Anyway, I'm sweating. Since I'm here, let's go see what's going on Sportscast, because I'm only shouting out Sportscaster at the moment. Got a couple people here. You got Ramalat Brit, we got Seahawks Girl, and Black, Orange, and Blue Blonde. These are the ones that are hanging out here. Anyway, it's Ebro out, 4 fingers to the forehead, tucking your thumb, salute. And it is what it is, man. Get your mind right, and get yourself together, guys. All right, peace. See you guys on the next one.